Hello everyone, welcome back to Chess Comment. Now this is the game I've been waiting for. We've got Fabiano, Fabi, my number one pick to win the candidates, went against my dark horse, the rising force, the reigning World Cup champion, Javokhir Sindarov. And let me tell you, this wasn't just a game. I could say this was a statement. Because Sindarov didn't just play well, he came well prepared, out prepped, outplayed, and yes, he took down Fabi. And here's what makes things even crazier. Just yesterday, Sindarov also took down Prague. With the black pieces. And Prague is another one of my picks. And like what I said, my bets, Fabi, Prague, and Javokhir, they're the only ones taking each other down. I know it's still too early to say who's going to win. We still have what, 10 more rounds to go? But what we are seeing right now, this kind of performance, this is the kind of chess that will always be part of the history books. So the question is, did my dark horse just shake the entire tournament after beating Fabi? Or are we witnessing the rise of a future champion? So, buckle up and let's go over the game. So, Javokhir is playing white. Play d4, d5, c4, e6, knight f3. I know this line, all right? Because I play this. You take c4, e3, knight f6, 6, excuse me, castle, queen e2. For some reasons, black is an option to play c takes d4, thinking that you will be able to win the pawn, but after rook to d1, this pawn is pinned. And let's say black plays e5, this is pinned, so white is just totally fine. So let's go back. After queen e2, Fabi played a6, knight c3, b5, bishop. So my line is bishop b3, but here, Javokhir played bishop d3. And in this position, Fabi just developed his bishop to b7. I believe Fabi, of course, I know Fabi knows this line as well. Although there are a lot of variations, to be honest, a lot. So he just decided to play bishop b7, Javokhir played a4. Now let us look at the time, okay? Javokhir only used up, what, 5 minutes or so on his clock. Fabi has used up almost 15 minutes, which means Javokhir is more prepared. He's just moving fast. Here, let me go back, sorry. Here, black has a few ways to continue. Black can play c4, black can capture. But even though Fabi doesn't know a certain line, I believe he's always capable to find the best move, which is pawn to b4. Javokhir immediately move his knight to e4. It's just like with a blink, without thinking. And then Fabi played knight a5. Opening up his bishop, obviously a shallow threat to the knight. Here, Javokhir took. And black is an option to play queen takes f6, but after e4, it doesn't really look pleasing for black because white has a strong center and maybe will be able to break through, and the king is still in the middle. So Fabi decided to play g takes f6. What's the purpose? To play rook g8, and he has a bishop that can help to attack the white king. Okay, so now let's continue. Javokhir took, oh my goodness, it's just like 24 minus 17. Just took 7 seconds for Javokhir to make his next move. Okay, 7 seconds. This is how prepared he is, or he was. Fabi played knight b3. Fabi took how many? 18 minutes almost to play knight b3. And Javokhir responded, pawn to c6. What, in just a few seconds? What, 17, 20 seconds? I believe he was just trying to recall his preparation in just a quick glance in his memory. Okay? c6, a brilliant pawn sacrifice in which Fabi took. Obviously, here, capturing the rook is a no-no, because after capturing the rook, cb, rook has to run away regardless where. Then there's bishop takes a6, and it's pretty clear that white's just winning because of this pawn. King is in the middle, there's a check, there's rook d1. White or black will just catch everything white is going to throw. So let's go back. That's not the surprising part, by the way. There are a lot of surprising parts here. Bishop takes c6. And then look at this move. Bloop, with the knight t4. So Javokhir's like, you don't want to capture my rook? Well, I will let you capture my rook again. In which, of course, that's Fabi. Fabi will not fall for that trick. Fabi took the knight. But now let's go back. There's a question here. What if black takes the rook? Would you believe this is still part of Sindarov's preparation? Of course, that's still part of his preparation. Knight takes c6. Black has a few options here. The best move is to play queen b6. Just a shallow option. Let me show you. If black plays queen d5, it'll be bishop takes a6. With the idea of bishop b7 or bishop b5. And black is just lost. After bishop b5, there's a discovery, right? And the knight will likely hit the queen. If the queen runs away, the king is just in the middle. There'll be rook d1 again. And it's just too tiring for black. Now, let's go over the best move, which is queen to b6. Look at how deep this prep is. Knight d4. Of course, preventing the knight to escape, right? So bishop c5, trying to capture the knight, and followed by a5, attacking the queen. Queen takes a5, let's say. Bishop to c4. I love this move. Preventing the knight from escaping, right? Even though the bishop captures, the bishop blocks or guards the b3 square. And let's play rook c8. b3, bishop takes d4, e takes d4. Now the knight is soon going to say bye-bye because the threat is bishop b2. And let's say black sacrifices rook, gives back the rook, right? The exchange. After b takes c4, black may think, oh, my knight's going to escape. My knight's going back home. But, bishop e3. The threat is just to develop, defend, and as well as activate this rook. Make use of this rook to trap the knight or attack the knight after, let's say, king e7. Just to move king e7. So black will be able to activate the rook. There's a move queen f3. Ta-da! What's the threat of queen f3? Gives a check and annoys this king. Will hunt the king. So let's say black plays rook to b8 and just queen d1. Crazy, right? Moves to queen f3 and moves back to d1, threatening the knight. Queen goes to a3 and here goes d5. And now the king is in big trouble. Why? Rook d8 and queen h5. Threatening to capture. And this is just clearly better for white. I am pretty sure you guys will agree. Or if you don't agree, well, we need to improve our chess assessment. Now, let's try to go back to what really happened to the game. So, after knight takes d4, he takes d4 with g8. Obviously, hitting the g2 pawn, right? But Javokhir just played pawn to g3 and stopping everything. There's no more threat on the g file. And then f5 was played. Of course, trying to play f4 or just prepare it. Because this one gives the queen a diagonal, gives the bishop good dark squares. So this is a logical move. It also blocks the bishop from capturing. So it has a lot of purposes, right? But why not consider queen d5? I mean, here, white will just simply play f3. After queen takes, bishop e3. And you may think that black is up by a pawn, true. But white is definitely much better. Because after the queen runs away, let's say it runs away to e5. There'll be rook a c1, rook fd1. And white's pieces are more coordinated than black's. Look at these rooks. They don't see each other. They haven't seen each other. Rooks are better when they are connected or in a battery. Okay? The bishop is not even developed. So clearly, white is much better. So let's go back. Back. F5 was played. Bishop c4. Trying to reroute the bishop. Maybe threatening to play d5 in the future because the king is still open, right? That would make sense. Rook g4 was played by Fabi, hitting the pawn. Oh, by the way, why not capture the pawn on d4? Because there's a tactic. Bloop. After captures, bloop. Bishop, rook. And it's game over, right? So let's go back. Back. Fabi played rook to g4. And as you can see, before I said Fabi was outprepped, he was outplayed. Because look at the time. Fabi has only 16 minutes left. And they are only on the 19th move. And Javokhir still has more than an hour. Now, you believe that Fabi is outprepped? You should believe, okay? Bishop e3. Just developing the bishop, right? So they both got a pair of bishops, but the difference is the king is in the middle. The king is unsafe. And plus black's pieces, again, are or is uncoordinated. Let's continue. Bishop d5. This is a logical move. Just trying to put his bishop, like putting on an outpost. Okay? That's the simplest explanation. And Javokhir, instead of capturing, just played rook a to c1. It's like, capture me then. Who cares? Because if Fabi took, Javokhir will just take back. And he's threatening to play queen c6 after king e7, maybe d5, to open up the e file. Excuse me. Open up the bishop's diagonal, which is going to be too much for black. So here, Fabi played. What did Fabi play here? I think he played bishop e7 to develop. And then Javokhir just took the pawn. So now, from a human's perspective, it is getting closer to say that white is completely winning. I mean, maybe not say completely, but white is winning. Because the king is unsafe, still in the middle. White is up by a pawn, obviously. And pieces are still uncoordinated. Look at this rook. It's not even part of the game, right? So we can say white is winning. But, of course, for black, you just don't give up. You should still try to keep on improving your pieces. You still have to keep on thinking for a plan. Just like what Fabi's doing, just by king f8. I mean, he's trying to make sure his king will be safe, maybe trying to go to g7, trying to go to g8, h8, something like that. At least he's not giving up. Who gives up? Only weak gives up. Now, bishop b5, bishop f6. Look, he's trying to reroute his bishop, hitting on the d4 pawn, preparing to hit on the d4. So there's no room for giving up for black, even though black is in trouble. King g7, bishop c6. This is an interesting move. It is likely that I'm also maybe going to consider this move if I was the one playing. But it's really interesting because he's trying to remove the light square bishop, which is the most active bishop for black. You can say this is the most active piece aside from the rook, right? So he's trying to remove it. The question is, why did Fabi take? And after takes, rook takes a4. You know why? Because there is d5. What? d5? Really? So the pawn is going to push forward. Then what if black captures then? First, look at the pawn structure. It's just unpleasant, right? Next, there's queen c2. Hitting the rook, hitting f5, then after that, hitting d5. So this is just too bad for black. Too bad, okay? So let's go back. Okay. Here, Fabi played rook a5. Javokhir took. Fabi took. I'm actually, torn. I'm thinking, did Fabi miss this move, rook c5? Because maybe he thought he can just simply capture d4 and then he didn't go for it. Number one, he's low on time. He found something like if it captures, it'll be rook takes d5, queen takes d5, and then just a5. Then he will have a hard time to defend his pawn. I mean, let's continue. So the queen and the rook is what tied up to defend the bishop. So it's logical for black to play e5. So the bishop will be defended, right? Then after a6, queen a5, I mean to stop the pawn, not capture, but to stop the pawn, it'll be queen f1. Threatening rook a1, capture, then push. So let's say the bishop takes. I mean to stop rook a1 still gaining a pawn, right? But there'll be a move rook d7. This is just an amazing move. The threat, queen c4 to hit f7. I mean, let's just play a random one. Let's say black plays something like f4. Look at this move. Ta-da! There's no way to stop queen takes f7. And soon, black is going to be mated. Okay. Captures, check. King goes to h6. Queen f6. Rook blocks, queen h4 mate. King goes to h5, rook h7 mate. That's how the game is going to end. Okay, now, after rook c5, Fabi played rook to d7. d5 was played. This is just amazing chess. He takes d5. Look, the pleasing pawn structure. The sarcasm, right? Queen f3. Hitting the f5, obviously. So bishop takes b2. This is almost the same as what I analyzed with you guys earlier, right? So, although Sindarov took d5 first before taking f5, and queen e8 was played. Rook takes f5. I mean, the rook now is under attack. Rook e4, rook g6, and then followed by h4. Whew. Look at the time, Fabi. Less than 2 minutes, and there's no increment. Bishop c3, h5. What can we say still here? The pressure is real, right? Rook a6, queen g4 check, king h8, bishop d4 check. Here we go. If the bishop takes, okay, takes, queen takes d4, f6. Obviously, if the king runs away, there'll be a check, right? If f6, there are a few options. I mean, you can just even take this one and just be done with it. Then maybe after king to g8, there'll be h6, and this is clearly winning for white. Now let's go back. Back. So Fabi didn't capture because it doesn't want an easy win for white. He played f6. And within this move, rook c5, Fabi resigned. And how fast did Javokhir play this? He has 42 minutes, 13 seconds. He thought for 11 seconds and played rook c5, which means he already found it. He was just trying to check. What's the purpose? What is the threat? Rook c8. What else? Rook takes c3. Because in order for you to defend rook c8, you gotta play rook a8, right? And now, the rook is no longer defending f6. And the only piece defending f6 is the dark square bishop. So the rook takes c3, and black is lost. Whew! What a game, right? What a game. So tomorrow is going to be the rest day for the players, but maybe not for us, because we'll be thinking about this one. Because in round 5, Javokhir will have the black pieces against none other than Hikaru. The big question is, can he keep this incredible run going? We'll find out soon. Until then, you have to keep on studying, keep grinding, and I'll see you in the next one. Until next time, bye bye for now.